Om Vakradunda
Vakradanda
Mahakaya
Mahakaya
Surya
Suryakoti
Koti
Samaprabha
Samapradha
Nirvighna
Nirvignam Kurume Deva
Deva
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada
Sarvada Saraswati
Saraswati
Namastubhyam
Namastubhyam
Varade
Varade
Kamarupini
Kamaru Vidyarambham
Vidyarambham Karashyami
Karishyami
Siddhir
Siddhi
Bhavatu Me
Bhavatu Me
Sada
Sada
Gurur
Guru
Brahma
Brahma
Gurur
Guru
Vishnu
Vishnu Guru Deva
Gururdevo Maheshwaraha Guru
Guru
Sakshat
Sakshat
Param
Param
Brahma
Brahma
Tasmai Shri
Tasmai
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha
Namaha.
Apara
Om
Karuna Sindhum Jnanatam
Sindhum Jnanatam
Shantarupinam
Shantarupinam
Sri
Sri
Chandrasekharendra
Chandrasekhara Gurum Pranamami
Pranamami
Mudanamaham
Mudanvakam
Yat Krupalesha
Kalesha
Madrena
Matrena Puman
Puman
Purnah
Purna
Prajayate
Prajayate
Tam
Tam
Vande
Vande
Brahma
Brahma
Vidsuryam
Viduryam
Sadgurum
Sadgurum
Chandrasekharam
Chandrasekharam.
Om
Om
Sahana
Sahana
Bhavatu
Vavatu Sahano
Sahano
Bhunaktu
Bhunaktu
Sahaviryam
Sahaviryam
Karavavahe
Karavavahe
Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
vidvishavahai.
Vidvishavahe
Om
Om
Shanti
Shanti
Shanti Shanti.
Shanti Om Ata Shashtodhyayah
Om Atha Shashtodhyayaha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Chapter number 29. Sarvabhutastamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani
Sarvabhutastamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani.
ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha.
Yikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha.
Yogena yuktaha atma antakarnam ena saha yoga yuktatma. That is yogi. By Nidhyasanam, his mind is resolved. Resolved means his mind is resolved in this knowledge. Atma samsta manakritva, as we saw before. That is the Tripurti Veda, nowhere known in the knowledge, are resolved in the understanding that everything is Atma. When everything is Atma, then he sees, he has a vision. He sees, looks upon everything. Sarvabhutastam Atmani, all the beings abide in Atma. Sarvabhutani cha Atmani, all the beings are in Atma. Atma in all the beings and all the beings in Atma. So that is the, the vision we saw before. Sarvabhutastam, that is Sarvabhutastam Atmanam, Atma Brahma, which is everything. All the beings are in Atma, but in Atma. Minus Atma, where are the beings? So Sarva Bhutastam, in all the beings, Brahma is Samam, which is in all the beings, and all the beings have their existence in Atma. Now, from the topic here, we have to read contemplation is the appreciation of what is being said here. By Nididhyasanam, Nishta. Nishta in this Jnanam, by which this appreciation, Sarvatra Brahmadarshanam, Samadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam. The Samadarshanam as sadhana. When as a mumukshu, when he practiced karma yoga, the sadhana, there also sarvatra samadarshanam, looking upon everything. There also samattam yoga uchyate, samattam. With regard to raga, with regard to the everything, Shita, Ushna, Papa, Dukkha, whatever, and with regard to the results also, samadarshanam. And that is the that is the level of that at the level of sadhana. Now at the level of sadhya, having understood everything is Brahma, therefore he has got samadarshanam. Yoga is samatvam yoga uchyate. Jnanam is sarvatra samadarshanaha. So what was sadhanam? Now it has become sadhya. It is gain. That's sadhanam, preparation for this jnanam. That is in the form of samatvam, that is looking upon, that is having equanimity. Samatvam is equanimity of mind with regard to things, beings, that is at the level of sadhana. Now, when it is jnanam is gained, then that what was practiced as sadhana, it becomes natural, spontaneous. So therefore, karma yoga helps a person to gain the necessary chitta shuddhi for appreciating this vision. So this vision is only by jnana. So karma yoga prepares the antakarnam, and the antakarnam and the knowledge takes place. Then the person has this vision, sarvatra, ishvara darshanam, brahma darshanam. Therefore, there is no real looking implied here. What is looking? Ikshate, pashyati. What is meant is that for this person, he sees everywhere Brahma, means he doesn't have ignorance, no ajnana. Ajnana nivritti has happened, therefore there is no ignorance with regard to himself, with regard to the knowledge of himself, Atma. The vision of the person is that the self, Atma, is in all beings. Sarvabhutastam Atma, ikshate, pashyati, as though it is object. It is not object. It is expression as a vision that Atma is in all beings, and all the beings are in the Atma. This vision, this is the vision of Vedanta, described in its entirety in this verse and the next following two shlokas is what is referred to as knowledge. So this shloka, ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha, as well as the 30th shloka and 31 also. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha vai pashyati. Similarly, 31, sarvabhuta sitam mam bhajate ekatvamasitaha sarvata ramanopi sayogi mai vartate. So therefore these three shlokas, the vision of Vedanta is presented that is what is knowledge is. In fact, these three shlokas lend themselves to contemplation. These three shlokas lead to nididhyasana because contemplation is primarily the appreciation of what is being said here. What is said here is the Dhamma darshanam, that is the nididhyasanam. So nididhyasanam helps to appreciate this knowledge. The meaning of the word I is not exactly as we understand it to be. It is not ahankara here. It is not this body-mind complex, physical body-mind sense complex. When you say, this is my body, my mind, and my senses, it means you become someone who avoids the body-mind sense complex. For this, you require no special knowledge. There is abhimana, that you are attached to this body-mind sense, therefore, so your abhimana with the body-mind sense complex means you reside in the body, like you reside in the house, the tenement. The body is the body you reside. What knowledge is required? This doesn't require any special knowledge. It is, in fact, it is knowledge everybody has. It is common for people to take themselves in this way. That is how the empirical transaction happens based on this abhimana. Not only do you take yourself to be someone who awaits in this body mind sense complex, you also take the body mind sense is to be yours. This is what I am. Akamitya Vimana also, which is why you say this is my body, my mind, and my senses. Not that you just simply reside in the body, but this is body is me. Take the body to be yours. Body is me, mind is me, senses are me. Similarly, when you say I am fat means Atma is fat. No, the body is myself and I am fat. The body itself becomes the I. Similarly, when you say restless, this is with regard to the mind. Restless means mind is restless. I am restless. You're not saying mind is restless. I am restless. Therefore, mind is I. Mind becomes the I. Similarly, when you say I am tired, what tired? Prana becomes tired. But you say, I am tired, therefore prana becomes I. Therefore, the I is scattered all over. This makes it possible for us to have two situations. Either the physical body is itself is Atma, or the Atma abides in the body. Now, both are is negated here. Both are physical body is not Atma. We know that it's an Atma, is subject to change. And Atma abides in the body is also not correct. Atma abides in the body. Body is an Atma. Then Atma abides in the body. Then everything is not Brahma. Everything is not Atma. Atma becomes Parichinna. Both are being negated here. The Atma that you talk about is the Atma that abides in all the beings. Sarva Bhutastha, not just in one Bhuta, in all the Bhuta. Now, how can I recognize Atma when it is never an object? And how do you appreciate the Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam, Sarva Bhutastha Atma? Since Atma can never become an object because it is the very subject. You cannot see it like you can see the string that runs through the different beads, thereby holding them together, like in the mala. The mala, different beads are there, or in the garland, different flowers are there. All the flowers are connected by a thread, common thread. So you cannot see that like that. This Atma, Sarva Bhutasam resides in all the beings. Because you can see both the beads and the string. Now you can say that the string is Sarva Bhutastha. You can see that beads that brings all the Bhutas. But the string is not just in one bead. It runs through all the beads. Even if the beads are of different shapes, colors, and value, all of them are run by strung by one string. But in this Drishtanta, in fact, Bhagavan gives later, the 7th chapter. In this Drishtanta, both the beads and strings are object, therefore both are anat. Although this illustration, this example, is used to explain Sarvabhutastha Atma, like any illustration, it is also as dosha, it is subject to defect. No Drishtanta is perfect. There are some close examples, but examples are examples. Examples are only to understand the reality. Examples, not the reality. If there is any parallel example, then that example becomes the reality. Therefore, no example, perfect example can be given. So all examples are subject to defect. So therefore, like any illustration, this Sutre Manigana Iba, in this mani, the beads are there, strung by the thread. Like that Atma is strung in all the all the bodies. So that illustration, Sutre Manigana, is subject to defect. Defect here is both the beads and string are anatma. As an object perceived by you, the string is anatma, and so the beads are also anatma. Even if the string is not seen by you, because the beads are strung so closely together, they are so close, you don't see the thread. But because of thread, it is they are together. We can appreciate that. Therefore, Anumana, we can infer the string must be there, even though you don't see with your eyes. It is there. Therefore, string is anatma. Beads are the anatma. Both are object referred. As both are objects. A string is an object inferred by you, even though you don't see. Whether an object is perceived or inferred, either way it is an object known by you, and therefore they are anatma only. So anatma are available for objectification, available for drishya. So in the drishtanta, the example, the beads and the strings are objects. But here, the dhashtanta, the illustrated, how does one recognize the atma which which is in all beings? Sarvabhutastam atmanam. Recognize it. I recognize various beings, but if I recognize in all of them one atma, then the atma becomes an object of recognition. Like the string, atma can never be recognized as an object. Then how then is this statement Sarvabhutastam atma ikshate is to be understood? Sarvabhutastam atmanam. Atma is only one, and that is I. So Atma is only one, there is only one Atma. Jivas are many, but Atma is only one. Atmas are not in plural. Maybe in Shabda we have Atma, Atmanav, Atmanaha, but Atma is Ekaha Eva. Because what is there is only Atma, and anything else It is anatma. It is not one more atma. So atma and anatma. And anatma also atma only, because they cannot exist separately. In the empirical world, we see objects and things, beings. And anatma, because that plurality is there, duality is there, anatma. But anatma is also atma. So what is there is only atma finally. That is what we are going to say. So if we define atma as one thing referred to as first person, I, then everything that is evident to this atma becomes anatma. I is atma, and that everything else that which becomes an object for this atma to know, it becomes anatma. Atma is drik, always drik. And anything drishya, which are seen, that becomes anatma. So therefore, is there not some difficulty here? How am I referring to atma in all the anatmas, all the shariramas and gata, all the bodies? This problem arises because this atma that I recognize as myself is not only in my physical body, it is not in any one physical body. When you associate with one physical body, then it is what is called ahankara. Atma, which is limited to associated with a particular physical body, one's physical body, then it is ahankara, I notion. Then I becomes satyam, ahankara becomes satyam. This is ego. It becomes a jiva, the individual. Now here he says, you go one step further. One step further, what is the nature of this I? This I, the jiva, is Shuddha Chaitanyam, pure consciousness alone. Then everything else in the world, all the beings in the minds, they have their being, they have their existence in that consciousness. And that consciousness, Chaitanya, has no any particular location. It doesn't reside in any particular body. All the bodies, everything, the whole Jagat resides as its existence in this Shuddha Chaitanya. For consciousness, Atma, therefore not located anywhere. Where is it located? The question itself is wrong. Where it is not. So every location is a location of Atma. If consciousness had a location, then it will be located in all beings. In other words, consciousness would be there in one living being and at another place in another living. Then how would you recognize one that is present in all these beings? Because the two beings we can see or infer that there is string. That's why we know that string obtains in space also. But if consciousness had a particular location, then how could we recognize it? There is no way to recognize consciousness Atma except by understanding that it has no location. It is not located anywhere. So in all beings, when we say it is not located, it is not located in one being in one place, another being another place. Location in terms itself in terms of spatial inquiry. The very concept of location is based upon various forms that you see abiding in a space context. The space there are various forms, therefore the location is. You can see one object existing in one place P, and another object existing in place P1. And between them there is space. These two are separated by. Therefore, Vastu, Deshakala Vastu, Parichinna. Parichinna is Vastu, the objects. Therefore, you say this object is located here and that object is located there. The location for two objects not being same. Therefore, you can ask. Therefore, they are subject to objectification. You can objectify it. Therefore, you ask where particular objects are located, or from where a certain person comes, etc. Because this person is located somewhere, that person is located somewhere, some other place. So both persons are located somewhere. So both their body mind senses are located elsewhere. Therefore, two objects. The location of two objects not same. Therefore, you can ask physical body has a different location. It has to be located. Every concepts have the location. If you analyze the location of all these, you will find that they exist within the framework of time and space, Deshakala. The Deshakala Vastu, Parichinnam Jagat. So all concepts, space concept, objects within the time space concept exist where all this exists. That in which they are located is Atma, consciousness, Sarvabhutastam Atmanam. Sarvabhutasta Atma, the self or truth of all the beings. So all the beings are located where? They are located in Sarv. All the beings are in that in which they are located is that in which they are located is Sarvabhutastam Atma, the self or truth of all the beings. Time and space also have their existence in Atma. Time is, therefore space is, therefore time is, space and time go together. They also have their existence in Atma. Atma is not located in any place or time. Why? Because Atma is not located in any particular place. To understand this, one has to have appreciation of Nirvishesha Chaitanya, which saw before. Chaitanya, which is Nirvishesha, which is unconditioned, attribute free consciousness. That is a Swarupa, Swarupa of Atma. Nirvishesha Chaitanyam. When we say Nirvishesha, then it cannot be located in a particular location. It is not located in time or space because time and space are not absolutes. They are existing, absolutes existing parallel to Atma. They are not. Time and space have their existence in the being that is Atma, Chaitanya. They also enjoy existence, which is Atma. Our consciousness, Chit, is a being. The existence Sat is existence Sat. Sat is Chit, Chit is Sat. The Chit is the being. Sat. Chit exists. Consciousness exists. Therefore, Chit is what? Sat. And the Sat is Chit. They are not different. They are Lakshana. And in this Satchit Atma, in Satchit Atma, all the beings have their existence. Atmani Sarvabhutani. Sarvabhutani Atmani. Consciousness has no particular location in living beings because wherever there is mind, consciousness is manifest there. And where there is no mind, consciousness is not manifest. It doesn't mean consciousness is not there. Consciousness is not manifest because there is no mind, like in the dead body. There is nothing more to it than that. Manifest is consciousness is what is seen as though it is a conscious being. That alone is seen as a conscious being. A thought, a certain response on the part of the person is manifest. And from this, you may say that the person has consciousness. In fact, this is not a way to look at it. The object of such inference is anatma. Whatever you infer is anatma alone. Because the Chaitanya has no location whatsoever. In Chaitanya, everything is located. Everything is. Anything you take, it is existence. Existence is Atma Chaitanyam. So therefore, everything is located in the Chaitanya. And the Chaitanya doesn't have any location. If this is understood, that wherever there is a being, individual being, any being, that being has its being in the self. That being has its existence being in the Atma. Therefore, Atma is the Adhishtanam for all beings. That is the idea. That is the meaning. Atma is Adhishtanam of all the beings. Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. All the beings exist in Atma means all the beings have the Adhishtanam, have the basis, have the support. Atma. Means minus Atma, they cannot exist. So all the beings have Adhishtanam, their basis in the Atma alone. Therefore, the self runs through any being, like the clay and pot. Clay has the pot has its existence in clay. The lid has its existence in clay. Similarly, the plate has its existence in clay. They are all of different forms, different upadhi, but they all exist in clay. Minus clay don't exist. It is a clay which runs through all these. Similarly, here Atma runs through any being, self runs through any being that you think about, and that being is sustained, vivified by the same self alone. In this way, as clay is adhishtanam for pot, cup, lid, etc., similarly, Atma becomes adhishtana, the basis for any bhuta. So, sarva bhutani, therefore, Atmani. All the beings have their existence in Atma. This person, yogi, ikshate, he understands, appreciates. So, in this way, Atma becomes adhishtana, the basis for any bhuta. and being limitless. Therefore, Atma is not bound by time or space. Beings are bound by time and space, but not Atma. And in this limitless consciousness alone, all beings are the being. Being all the beings means beings, all the animals, humans, jivas. That's what the beings. They have their existence, being their existence. So each one of them has adhisthana, as Atma has its adhisthana, basis in Atma. Therefore, in I, the Aham, the Atma, it is not a self of any particular being. It is a self. Therefore, we can say it is a self which awaits in all the beings. Sarvabhutastam Atma. So, Sarvabhutani Atmani, everything is okay, everything has its adhisthana, the basis in Atma. And Atma, therefore, it is not the self of any particular being. The self of all the beings. Therefore, Sarvabhutasta Atma. That is the vision. The resolution of all beings into Atma by Jnanam, knowledge. The other statement in this shloka, Sarvabhutani cha Atmani ikshate, is also important. It means the meditator, and the meditator sees all beings in the Atma. How? This is what is meant by resolution. To understand this, let us look at different types of resolution or dissolution. It's called laya or pralaya. Individual resolution is called laya. Total resolution is called pralaya. One type of laya is nitya laya. That is daily resolution, that is sleep. The resolution that takes place daily when you go to sleep. Everything is resolved into yourself. All your projections, your experiences, the world and the beings, all of them resolve into yourself alone in sleep. This is nitya laya, daily dissolution. This is for the jiva. Similarly, for the total, for Hiranyagarbha, there is Mahapralaya, cosmic dissolution. It is referred to by the expressions Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya. Srishti, the creation, Sthiti, sustenance, and Pralaya, dissolution. For Brahmaji, they say, Brahmaji also goes to sleep. Brahmaji is awake for 1000 Chaturyuga. Similarly, at the end of the day, that is one day of Brahma, one daytime. Similarly, night also is 1000 Chaturyuga. So when he goes to sleep, everything resolves into Brahma. So this type of laya is like deep sleep with reference to the total, the cosmos, rather given individual. So everything is resolved. Everything goes into unmanifest avastha. Nothing is really lost in these two types of dissolution. What happens? Since everything is in unmanifest condition, you go to unmanifest and then come back. Unmanifest, come back. That is what is Srishti is all about. Manifestation is Srishti, and going to unmanifest avastha is pralaya. When it manifests again, it is just as it was before. When you come back from sleep, you are as you were before. You don't become a changed person. You are the same person as you went to sleep. And also everything else comes back in the same form. Similarly, after Mahapralaya means it's the pralaya of Hiranyagarbha. If you have one day and one night for one complete day. Similarly, Brahmaji also has got one day and one night. We have 24 hours, but Brahmaji has got 2000 Chaturyuga, one complete day. 1000 Chaturyuga one day, 1000 Chaturyuga one night. So Mahapralaya is that referring to the night of Brahmaji, Hiranyagarbha. So after Mahapralaya, what happens? The creation also comes back exactly as it was before, and therefore can be considered an extension of deep sleep condition alone. Because these manifest and unmanifest conditions form a cycle, therefore they go into the dormant state or unmanifest avastha and come back again. Therefore, nothing is really lost. This is also discussed in the Gita chapter. From manifest condition to an unmanifest condition, that is called pralaya, resolution at the level of total. And from the unmanifest condition to a manifest condition is called a srishti. And the continual change the manifest form undergoes, that is called sthiti, the sustenance. That is the same manifestation seems to appear, but with certain changes, seem to undergo changes. So sthiti is not a stationary condition. It is time bound, that is bound by space. Therefore, it is always changing. It is anitya. Therefore, everything is always in a state of flux. But still, that thing is recognizable. Even though constantly changing. The same mountain is recognized by you, the same moon. The moon has been there for thousands of years. But the change happening, but we see the same sun. The sun is recognizable, moon is recognizable, the same moon. Meeting an old friend after 10 years, you recognize a person in spite of the changes that have taken place in each of you. If moment to moment things were to change in such a drastic way that you could not recognize them at all, there will be continuous dissolution, pralaya, and no sthiti at all. Therefore, continuous dissolution and continuous creation is meaningless. Therefore, there is sthiti, sustenance. In spite of the changes, there is some sthiti, sustenance. The sun itself is imploding all the time, and thus it's not exactly the same sun that you just saw a minute before. It may run out too. The same way, nothing remains the same. Everything in a constant flux, constantly changing. And there is creation, srishti, constant change within itself, sthiti, and dissolution, pralaya. So, creation is srishti. After srishti, there is change, constant change happening. The change is such that it is not recognizable. There is sthiti, and there is dissolution. Therefore, this srishti, sthiti, laya is a cycle. The cycle is nothing but the manifestation and unmanifestation of consciousness, Atma. So Atma manifests through the Upadhi. Individual Upadhi is Antakaranam, total Upadhi is Maya. So that becomes Ishvara. So therefore the cycle is manifestation and unmanifestation of this consciousness, Atma. And moksha is also dissolution. Complete that. Moksha is also dissolution, but what dissolution? The third type of pralaya, which is atyanta pralaya, complete dissolution, total dissolution. That is called moksha. So we have pralaya, we have laya, pralaya, and atyanta pralaya. Laya is that which happens to jiva every day, that is laya. Pralaya is that which happens to the Hiranyagarbha at the end of each cycle. All the beings goes to unmanifest avastha and again come back to manifest avastha when the next cycle starts. Then the third type of pralaya is atyanta pralaya. Atyanta pralaya or moksha doesn't involve any kind of disappearance. You look at the same object and resolve it in the appreciation of its birth, the truth of the object, satyat vastu. You resolve it. You resolve it in the appreciation of its cause. For example, when you see 1,000 pots all born of clay, you resolve all of these objects by appreciating just that it is clay. Clay as a satya of every pot. This is Maha Atyanta Pralaya. So it is not physically dissolved. There's not any physical disappearance, but it resolves in your cognition. In all the names and forms with the various distinct features, they go into unmanifest condition. That is either pralaya or laya, depending on the individual or the total. This means that it is either nitya pralaya or maha pralaya. Nitya pralaya jiva, maha pralaya hiranyagarbha. Whereas here, moksha, atyanta pralaya, what we're talking about there, without changing any object, things are as they are. But at the same time, they are envisioned by you. You have a cognition, you have a jnanam, you have a vision. What is that? As non-separate from the cause, Brahmatma. Seeing the karya as not separate from karanam. This particular vision is unfolded in this shloka by the words. Sarva bhutani, all the beings, cha atmani. So Vedanta reveals the karana. Karanam is satya. Satyam is this birth for the clay. Similarly, the karana of everything is the vastu, and therefore it is satya. Brahma is satyam, which is the karanam, and the effect karya, the jagat is mithya. This particular analysis, therefore, called karana karya vada, cause effect analysis. In fact, there is no real karanam or karya. because one of them becomes mithya. If karya is mithya, then what about karanam? Karanatvam also becomes mithya. Karya only from the standpoint of the karanam. And karya itself is cognitively resolved. In where is karanam? Karanatvam attributed to the clay also resolves. Everything is clay. So it is, as a pot, it is clay without being a pot. As it is a clay alone. This means that the status of being a karana is also incidental. From the standpoint of clay alone, from the standpoint of pot alone, clay is a karanam. But pot is clay, and where is karanatvam of clay? So therefore, karanatvam attributed to clay is incidental. Similarly, here also, what is there is Satyavastu, Brahma alone. Everything that is here is Satyam Brahma Eva. Knowing this, you will look at the world, the same world, with a different buddhi, with the buddhi understanding this fact. You look at it, the Purusha, look at it as a Purusha, the I, cause. Therefore, the entire creation is only in terms of subtle and gross bodies. Stula Sukshma Sharira. These alone are created, whereas Atma is not created. But Trikale Tishtati, Sat, Atma, timeless, Nityaha, not bound by time. Anything which is created bound by time, but Atma is not created, therefore not bound by time. It is Kalasyapi Kalaha. It is a Kala, which is Adhishtanam even for the Kala. So this Atma which is not created doesn't come to existence at any point of time. It is not located, uncreated. Atma is a Satya, the truth of everything. Satya Vastu, the basis, the Adhisthana of any creation that may be there. Therefore, Atma is the very basis for the vision implied by the words in the shloka. Sarva Bhutam, Tamatmanam, Sarva Bhutani, Chich Atmani, Ikshate. Here a problem can arise. What is that? Wherever there is Adhisthana, now there is a confusion. The confusion is possible between the basis and the based. Ashraya and Ashrita. Ashraya is a basis, and Ashrita is that which has Ashraya, that which has basis is Ashraya, and the base is Ashrita. That which has Ashraya is Ashrita. For example, when I say on the rope, it's a snake, on the gold is a chain. You may think the snake is actually laying on the rope, or chain is actually sitting on the top of gold. What is there is only rope. Snake is apparent appearance. Snake has existence, apparent existence on the rope. The rope is the Ashraya, the Sarpa is Ashrita. Similarly, chain is sitting on the top of the gold. Gold is the Ashraya for the Ashrita chain. This would mean that the rope and the snake or the gold and chain are two different things. When we say Ashraya and Ashrita. When we say Adhisthana means there must be something which has this Atma as the Adhishtanam, the basis. So therefore, Anatma also becomes, therefore that becomes Sambandha. That becomes a basis to have the difference, Ashraya, Ashrita. So therefore, two different things. Whereas in fact, they are not. When we say rope is Adhishtanam for snake, then there become two different things, rope and snake. Where is snake? Similarly, gold and chain. As a gold is Adhishtan, when we say the chain and gold become two different things. This is just a way of describing things wherein there are apparently two objects. In fact, there is only one. Apparently there is snake, apparently there is chain. When we talk about the snake on the rope or the chain on the gold, one object is the Adhisthana, the basis, and the other one is something that is based, dependent on this Adhisthana. So gold is the Adhisthana and chain is one which is dependent on the gold. So therefore, chain and gold, as though there are two different things. Similarly, pot and clay, as though there are two different things. But when we analyze the chain is nothing but apparent manifestation of this gold alone. Namarupa being Mithya doesn't add any value. What is there is only gold. So that is a vision. So therefore, between the Atma and the world, therefore, where is the Ashraya Ashrita Sambandha? So that confusion can come, but when we understand the Vastu, the difference which is created due to this condition, adhisthana, that is resolved. Because wherever there is adhisthana, this confusion is possible, ashraya, ashrita. When we understand that it is apparent, then it is resolved. So between Atma and the world, there is no basis-based relationship, because Jagat is mithya. Like the sarpa is apparent existence. What is there is only rope. Similarly, Jagat is mithya. So what is there is only Jagat has existence. Rope has existence because of snake. Similarly, Jagat has existence because of Atma. So what is there is only rope, not snake. Similarly, what is there is only Atma. That is Jagat. So, therefore, saying Jagat as its ashraya in the Atma. So therefore, there are no two different things, Brahma and Jagat. Because of our Abhimana, because of our orientation, because of our notion, notion of duality. So Jagat is as though it is some real existence, and therefore it is Ashrita on Brahma, we say. Therefore, there is no such relationship, basis-based relationship. We see that this basis-based relationship generally implies two different things. That implies Advaita, not Advaita. Yet too, the Jagat, the world, and all the beings, Sarvabhutani, are based upon Atma. When you say Jagat, which includes all the world, the beings, and the Bhutani, they are based upon Atma. Sarvabhuta Stam, Atma means all the Bhuta have Atma as Adhisthana. It implies duality. So, but what is that is only Atma. Even so, this is not a basis-based relationship. Such a division is not there, because all the Bhutas are not separate from Atma. That is why Bhagavan says, Sarvabhutani cha Atmani. To resolve these, there seems to be a basis-based relationship, and therefore duality. To resolve it only, Bhagavan again he says, Sarvabhutani cha Atmani. Otherwise, you would have stopped with Sarvabhutastam Atmani. Why should say Sarvabhutani cha Atmani? So that division is not there. Such a division is not there because all the Bhutas are not separate from Atma, which is why Bhagavan says, Sarvabhutani cha Sarvabhutani Atmani. For the person, Sarvatra Samadarshi, who sees Atma in everything, he recognizes all beings as not separate from Paramatma, Brahma, just as he sees, just as he or she sees a clay in all the parts and gold in all the chains. Seeing all beings, time, space, everything in Atma that is moksha, that is Atyanta Pralaya. That is Atyanta Pralaya. And the dissolution of the difference, subject-object difference, the dissolution of Dvaitam, Navek to Satya, the Satyam, the truth. That is Atyanta Pralaya. Dissolution of the difference between objects and their cause. Atyanta Pralaya is not dissolution of the world, it is a dissolution of the difference. The difference also notional difference, not real difference. The difference between the world and its Karanam, the Jagat and Karanam. The difference is purely born out of Ajnana. So therefore, Ajnana Nivritti is Atyanta Pralaya. Removal of Ajnanam is alone total dissolution. This difference, this division is resolved in the vision that whatever here is not separate from Atma, the Brahma. So that is Atyanta Pralaya. So Sarvatra Samadarshana means the person has Atyanta Pralaya, he sees everything as Atma. Stop here. The same thing is talked about next shloka, we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Dhanyavadah